it is.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Raconteur Society, here to question your sanity on a Tuesday night once again.
And basically on time.
Holy crap, we're only 5 minutes late this time. We're not going to get anybody here.
Yeah.
That's fashionable.
We are geeks past our peaks, have been throwing dice together since the 1980s, and tonight we are going to be playing Deadlands Classic yet again. We're continuing our module, which is Canyon of Doom, and we're going to take care of some announcements real quick. So, anybody got any announcements they want to make before we get started?
You got your game.
Huh?
You got your game?
Yeah,
Oh,
game.
yes. But it's back there.
Bobby's published.
I'm published in the new app.
Bobby got published in a role-playing game.
Yes.
Doo-dah, doo-dah.
Yay. The 10th anniversary of Cats of Cthulhu. I got my artwork in there, and I'm just so happy.
Her artwork is in the
Fearless Mysteries.
Fearless Mysteries book.
The 12 stories that come with the main game book.
And she's the first one in the book. So,
That's
Yay.
congratulations, Bobby.
awesome. Yes. Thank you, man.
Planet FunkCon is coming up really quick. So make sure you check out planetfunkcon.com and see what's going on there. We're going to be there doing having our booth. We'll be talking to fans. We'll be hanging out, and we'll be doing some panels. Alrighty, so again tonight we are playing Deadlands Classic, and the campaign is the Canyon of Doom, and Dale is running that tonight. He's the one down in the Marshall's seat this evening. So Dale, take it on away, buddy.
Dale?
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 Bueller?
Dale?
Bueller? Okay, so yes, we are playing Canyon of Doom. This was a module created for Deadlands Classic.
Ouch.
And it's a very cool story. I've always wanted to run it. I ran it for a couple guys years ago, and we only got a halfway. So this is the farthest from home I've ever been. So
None of us have died yet. That's the great part.
So you guys have been attached to this expedition and have been exploring, heading into the Grand Canyon for quite a while now from Salt Lake City. Had some interesting adventures.
Are we there yet?
Yeah. Had some interesting adventures and some interesting developments that have been developing and came to a head.
How rapidly did you want us to get there?
Yeah.
Rapidly.
So you do know that, let's see, a couple members have joined your posse, so to speak.
What a bunch of posses.
Yeah. On the train from Salt Lake City, you met a Dr. Bruce Smith, who's an Australian physician here in the States, and he also became a shaman with the Aborigines in Australia. So he's got like shaman abilities, but they're the same, but he uses it a little differently, being from Australia. He's tagged along for this, and
Oi.
yep.
Ziggy-zaggy.
You also encountered, just recently, you found a new friend in Li Ho Quan, an enlightened Chinaman from the maze. So he's an Asian character who's kind of tailed your group because he knew there was a threat. And in the town of Cliffside, which is the last mining town you left before you entered the Grand Canyon, you were jumped by a bunch of priests.
Can't trust those priests.
Yeah,
I tell you.
priests
horrible.
of the Church of Lost Angels, which you have now discovered are not exactly holier than thou.
Fallen angels.
Yes,
holy
big
angels.
time,
Yeah.
big time. The man who is in charge of the Church of Lost Angels is a Reverend Grimm, and player-wise, you understand that he is a servitor of the Reckoners. But in game terms, you have heard stories, and it's been verified by Li Ho Quan that they are basically a church full of cannibals, which is not good, and they're wicked, evil men. Well, they've been following you because of this talisman that apparently Dr. Haskins has. There's a Father Emmanuel Wilkes who is kind of heading the group that's after you to get that talisman back. You do know that there is a member of their congregation named Brother Cain, is all he's known by, and you have discovered that he is a demon in human form and can shift to demonic form. He attacked you and
Got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
disemboweled him. He went over the edge of the cliff and then apparently got up and walked away.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You can't trust them to stick around.
You didn't get that memo.
That's the thing about demons. You just can't trust them. But, yeah, so you guys have now entered the Grand Canyon with your guides, Dakota Jack Edmonds, and his brothers Daryl and Larry, I think it was.
Larry.
Larry, Daryl, and Daryl.
Yeah. That night, you kind of travel down the river quietly, away from what you thought you saw. You haven't seen anything following you, neither laughing men nor these little night men, whatever they are. So you guys kind of sail through the night and, or not sail, but float through the night.
Float through the night, yeah.
And before you get to the next set of rapids, they suggest you pull over and get some rest. And then the next morning you get up and he's like, okay, Dakota Jack is kind of like, we got 2 more rapids we need to shoot. One of them's going to be pretty bad. So if we want to line it lining it might even be tough.
Oh, is that the Serpentine? That's.
Yeah, he said, well, let's see. He said the next one coming up.
What did I do with my.
Let's see. The next one coming up is the Bedrock Rapids.
Yabba dabba.
And the last one is the Upset Rapids.
Oh, did we already go through
You know,
Well, there's a reason they're called the Upset Rapids. All the rapids you've shot so far are like 5 and 7. The Upset Rapids.
Upset rabbits.
Rubber biggie big rubber biggie
buggers.
bumpers. Upset Rapids are rating at 9.
oh boy,
After the Upset Rapids, it's probably about 5 miles, and then you're going to approach Havasu Canyon.
Bless you.
Yeah, and Havasu Falls.
Bless you again.
That is where the Havasupai Indians dwell, and that's kind of where you're going
Right.
Right.
to talk to them, because they were apparently the last Indians that ever saw John Wesley Powell, and
Rather suspicious.
one of those
rather
Indians-
right before they scalped him.
maybe they're the ones who found the artifacts, so maybe. No, but they were the ones who found the artifacts and sold those to whatever guy it was, Montgomery, who got a hold of Haskins. Like, look what I found in Haskins.
Montgomery
It's like,
Wards.
Yeah, Montgomery Wards. Got a good deal on them.
Yeah, it's in the catalog.
Yeah.
So this morning you are going to approach Bedrock Rapids. It's a rating of 7. So if you remember, the guides are going to roll their boating skill against the rapids. You guys roll your strengths,
Strengths, that's it.
and every success you get adds +1
I
to
wish
their.
their strength is at.
Okay, who's on the boat?
Right.
Okay, if I remember right, the first boat
Me and Dennis are
was
together.
you and Olaf, and I think
No,
Lee
they were
was.
the second boat. Me and Mike
I was-
were the first
I was-
boat.
You two were the first boat,
I was third
and you were third with Copperhead.
with Copperhead, yeah.
But I think Sophie was going to join you two.
Yep.
The rapids were
Lee
going
was
to roll
joining
the boats.
you two.
No, I thought.
Oh, Haskins was joining you two,
Right.
and Lee was in the third boat.
Yep.
So, go ahead and make a strength check.
Did you get it?
Out of Prince, it's
I
a
got
good
it.
way to dispose of the evidence.
Power.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
2 puns.
so first boat, which is you, and Haskins. Haskins did not make it.
We're the first boat.
Wait, no, they're the first boat.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
the
we're the-
first boat.
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, Sophie is with you guys,
Yes.
right? So she made it.
I made
He
it.
made it.
You made it. Okay, and he rolled a 5. So that's
Oh,
8.
thank goodness.
So you guys made the rapids just fine. Woo! Second boat.
Only got a 5.
I got 5.
Okay, he got a 5.
Oh, poop.
So, and the,
Oh,
boater, and the guy
oh,
boating
yep.
rolled a 5.
Up. See you guys later.
Oh,
We're
This is
shit.
the first
thing
one
y'all
you-
took them
this is
swimming
the first one you
lessons.
failed.
Yeah.
So let's
Oh.
see.
This is only the first one we failed.
Yeah, after all of them. So at least it happened.
Gonna get a
again.
bit of a dunk in here.
This is when the fat man.
everybody wore
Hold
their
on to the
life.
donuts.
Everybody wore their life preservers, right?
Yeah.
I didn't.
And he's got.
'Cause I can swim.
No, that's true. Thank you guys for all watching us there at home.
Okay, everybody in that boat, make a nimbleness check. Target number 5. Woo! It looks like Haskins is about to go over
Over what?
the edge of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody can make a nimbleness check to grab him,
Okay.
They have to be in that boat, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You can shoot him back in the boat.
Yeah, you can.
Got him. Hold this dynamite.
15.
Ooh, there you go.
15, okay.
You're like, what, right? Two finger. Boop.
So you guys,
You're having my
guys
vacation.
kind of bounce over a rock, and he loses control, and it slews sideways pretty bad, and you're almost going backwards again. And Haskins, as it goes, it
Colorado
rocks real
drift.
deep, and Haskins on this side of the boat, and he kind of goes up out of his seat and stumbles across, and as he's going over the edge, you manage to reach out and grab the back of his shirt and kind of like do that, like he's pinwheeling over the edge, and you're like, sit down. You pull him back in his seat. He like grabs onto the boat and onto your arm, and he's like, woo.
Yay, Olaf.
He's like, kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
So you guys, and after that happens, the boat kind of, he gets it kind of faced back just as the rapids end. So you guys are okay. The third boat. Did you make it?
Yes, I got 11.
All right. So you guys made it through that rapids.
That was sketchy.
Yeah. Somebody drew it. So the Colorado continues for a few more miles past Fishtail Canyon and the massive Kanab Canyon to the north. Eventually, you come to a place where you can pull over for lunch or whatever. You've been on the river like most of the day or half of the day. So if there's a shoreline that opens up, so if you guys want to kind of pull over and have some lunch, you're more than welcome to.
Nice drive through.
Yeah, drive through. So as you guys kind of pull over for
Bye.
the day and get some rest and have some rations and stuff like that, you hear a sound in the distance, and it sounds like a droning sound or buzzing sound.
Do I recognize it as being the hammer things?
As you guys think, you're like, this sounds like those sickle bugs.
Sickle bugs, yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, okay.
Oh, shit.
You hear it getting louder, louder,
We need to take shelter somehow.
louder. And Dakota Jack is kind of like,
Underwater.
damn sickle bugs. Uh-oh. Everybody under the boats. Flip them over. Under the boats, get in the water, something.
I dive in the water.
Okay. He's like, stay. If they come near you, stay underwater as long as you can. If you come up slow. He's like, otherwise, get on the boats. These things are stupid, at least. So if you got to cover up a blanket, do it. Just don't move. So the guides, some of them flip over the boats, and Haskins and Sophie get under the boats with Daryl and Larry. Jack kind of like watches the sky, makes sure you're all safe, and then he takes just a blanket and throws it over himself and just lays on the ground. Who's getting under a boat? Who's getting in the water?
I'm jumping in the lake, in the river.
Okay. Copperhead will get under a boat with you. He doesn't want his powder wet. He's like, I'm not getting in there with my guns.
My guns aren't on me either.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Copperhead's wearing his, so you're going to get in the water?
Well, yeah, but they're cartridge fed, so.
True. You're going to get in the water?
I was going to get in the water, yeah.
Okay. How about you guys?
I'll get under a boat.
Under a boat?
Boat.
Okay. So you two jump in the water. Actually, Dr. Bruce will jump in the
You
water.
jump in the water?
Me and
I'm going to cast
Me and me.
bodyguard.
You and me.
Yeah, and Dr. Bruce is going to jump in the water.
Bruce is, okay.
Lee will
you
also,
can get his didgeridoo.
Lee will also jump in the water. They're sickle beetles, but they're the size of like a German shepherd,
Holy shit.
and they've got really long things.
really long things.
Like instead of the sickles, they look more like scythes, like a Grim Reaper kind of thing.
Damn.
Who has a
Yikes.
collar and leash?
So there are like 6 of these things. They kind of,
Only 6?
and they're doing that. It sounds like airplanes coming down.
Right,
at you.
yeah. Holy
Just
crap.
imagine that huge buzzing sound. They kind of fly down around where the camp is, and even Dakota Jack, one of them lands on the ground next to him, with the wings kind of twitching, fidgeting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like hitting at the dirt near him. And then just kind of, and when they lift off, it's like that the wings lift them, and their legs kind of like they're heavy.
Oh, jeez.
You know, they just kind
Yeah.
of drum on like a bumblebee.
Right.
So they kind of fly around for about 10 minutes. Some of them land. There's one or two that land on a boat. You can hear tink, 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 tink as they hit the boat. But then they just kind of crawl around, which is really unnerving to not only hear under the boat, but for you guys who were like looking under the it's like really disturbing.
Oh, yeah.
They're just laying in there like giant bugs, just looking. And then after about 10 minutes, they and take off and head off the other side of the canyon, out of sight. As soon as that droning kind of gets lower, Dakota Jack kind of lifts up the bed sheet or the blanket. All right, they're gone. Damn. Hate those things.
Well, them damn things were huge.
We call them
We run into some of the smaller ones
What?
previously.
Why do they?
over cliffside. There's some of the smaller ones around here too. We haven't ran into any swarms of them, but
Thankfully, there weren't as many as there were in Cliffside.
yeah, we call them scythe beetles. They're the bigger cousins. You want to run into them once in a while. Like I said, if you just stay still and out of sight, they usually don't bother you. But if you make any movement, they're a mite bit meaner than their little cousins. And,
You think?
they are meat eaters. Just so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Just
Oh, no,
because
they're-
they're the size of a large dog. Yeah.
Yep,
Nope.
About the size of a coyote.
Bo just poops his pants. Oh,
After that, he's like, I doubt if they'll be back anytime soon, but if you hear that droning noise, I'll give you a holler. Everybody stay covered.
Well, I definitely won't be putting up real estate here. I don't think. Yeah.
Dr. Bruce is like, it took you that long to figure that out? Just because of these? I'd think the little night man would probably make me not
I
wanna
mean,
move here.
you know, you invite
The laughing man and the spiders and those crawly things.
Well, you know, you invite a few friends that you don't like so much along with you, and then you just have yourself, you have something for them to snack on, except for you. I'm glad you're with us, Doctor. Thank you.
Yes, I'll remember that.
Yes, you did not have to be fast enough to outrun the bear. You just had to be fast enough to outrun your companion.
That's true.
Well, I doubt you have to worry too much. I'm sure they can smell whatever diseases you might have from fornicating.
Well, that's true.
That's one way of putting it.
Man, that would be a good movie if you were ill that may not eat you.
sounds oddly familiar.
The illness that keeps on living.
I will call it The Fornicator.
Yeah.
Fornicator.
It'll be an adult film, of course. You don't want children watching it.
Yeah, exactly.
We are the Raconteur Society.
No, it doesn't matter. Okay, weird.
Yes, it's an 18+ channel.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
It's not a 21+ channel.
So you guys keep going for the rest of the afternoon, and for at least another couple hours. And up ahead, you hear water roaring. And he's like, "Up ahead's the Upset Rapids." And he kind of smiles those missing teeth. He's like, "Anybody want to shoot the rapids?
Yep,
Let's go."
I'll jump in his boat.
Yeah, well, you're in his boat,
Oh, well, never mind.
and Copperhead's like, "Hey, is there room in that boat for me? I don't want to shoot the rapids." He laughs. He says, No, we won't take a chance. Yeah, boat number 2 is like, or boat number,
Yeah.
boat number 2 is like, yeah, we're gonna go around.
We're out. Thanks.
We're out. Thanks.
We got scared.
Maybe get an inner tube or something.
Yeah, we'll go tubing. So, don't forget, you are wearing life preservers, and you haven't used them yet. So if you do want to shoot the rapids, the good news is, I will tell you the game mechanics. You pull the thing, and it gives you a +6 to your swimming skill because it keeps you up. So if you want to shoot the
He read.
You do a sequel to The Fornicator. Would that be The Fivicator?
that's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
But if you guys want to take the long way around, we can do that.
I am for the
kinda
long
Go
way.
through it.
I kind
We
of.
go for it.
You go through it.
I'm with Cobb. Let's run this sucker.
And Copperhead looks at Cobb like, "You want to run the rapids?"
Well, I'm gonna pray to God first.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds good.
Look, did you look at the sign on the wall? Target number 9.
You and
You
the
are
pastor
here.
there might want
If
to
you
bless
have a
these
swimming
boats
of
before we
2d4
get
or
moving.
less, do not
Nothing
ride
I
this
can bless
ride.
him with, other than a few gentle words.
That's fine. Everything helps.
You can wait for us on the far side of the.
If the holy rolling rafts, then we might have a chance.
Okay. All right. So, are you going to try something?
No, I'm just gonna cast Smite first.
Oh,
And
okay.
use my-
Don't forget, your target number for your strength is 9 now, because that's the target of the rapids.
Yeah.
I thought we was walking. We actually. What are we doing?
Everybody said we're going
going.
through.
Oh my heavens!
Ooh, wow.
In between.
Oh, darn. I won't pick it up with my toes this time.
It's fine.
Got it?
Well,
Please, please, please.
I am not happy with this.
Okay.
So I got 3 successes, so I bunched up to 40-12.
What do you have to roll to make another dice roll?
Well, did
Oh,
you
need
go
to
bust?
spin a chip?
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Did you
God.
go bust?
No, I
Or
didn't
did
go
you
bust.
fail?
But
Just
did-
failed.
Okay, so you
How-
can
did
start
you roll more
either
ones?
spend a white chip
Didn't go bust.
and you get an extra dice, or you can spend a red chip and you can add to your highest dice.
How much to the highest die?
Whatever you roll.
Whatever your dice.
Whatever you get to roll another one.
The only thing about the
Add
red
it.
chip is
I know it puts back in for the.
I get to draw it.
Red
one of the
chip,
bad
Mike.
guys.
So I roll again, right?
Red chip spent.
Hello, Jesse Walker. Hello,
That's
Jesse
10?
Walker.
Oh,
Hello, Jesse.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you,
7 plus 9.
Okay.
I made it.
okay.
Rob.
I didn't though. Huh?
Jesse Walker saying hello to you.
Hey Jesse, how's it going?
Well, I need
Waiting
to
to see
know.
what's gonna happen. Sorry,
I need to
intense moment,
roll
Jesse.
added chip. I did not make it.
Yeah.
You did not make it, but you did not go bust.
I did not go
Okay,
bust.
well, let's see. You're in the first boat.
Yep.
You're in the first boat.
I made it.
You
Whoa.
made it. And Sophie's in the first boat.
What'd Sophie do?
Gonna find out.
Sophie.
She made it.
I am not spending a chip.
So you
I'm
don't
over
have to
there.
spend a chip because he rolled a 7.
Yes.
With your success and her success, that's
Added
9.
9.
I am too busy clenching my bowels and leap over the waterfall.
Time. This is a bad idea.
I've already inflated my
I
chest.
didn't want to do
You know,
it.
you pull the ripcord and everything.
That's all right, Bo. The women got it.
Oh,
That's fine. You can have it. You can play with it. I'll give it to you anytime you
Was
want.
was that a premature infiltration?
Yes, it is completely premature everywhere. Now, why do they call this Niagara Falls?
Should be Viagra Falls.
Viagra Falls.
Oh,
Bo's hometown.
yeah. That was good.
All right. Boat number 2.
Oh, good lord.
I feel like we should be on the prices right. All right, boat number 2 where the prices are doubled.
Did you make it?
I failed on the actual strength roll.
Oh.
40-12, and I still failed.
4d12 when you failed. How about you?
Wow. I
Hey, I-
popped my 6 and got a 9, so I made it.
I'm
Okay.
right there with you, man. I know.
You're like, did not make it. But the captain of that, Larry, rolled a 10.
Oh.
So with yours, it's fine, but he would have been fine anyway. So you guys lucked out on that.
Right.
All right, third boat. Let's see.
Pray for a miracle.
I made it. I'm not worried.
I'm worried. I was so scared I filled up his pants with bile.
I'm scared I crapped his pants.
Now, remember, it's
made it?
not your roll.
made it.
It's the captain's roll.
I made it with a substantial amount, thank goodness.
Copperhead and Lee did not. And the captain rolled a 5.
Oh,
So,
This was your
everybody
damn
roll
idea.
your strength. Target number.
It's
Strength or
Or
nimble?
nimbleness. I thought it was nimbleness.
Oh, nimbleness, yes. Nimbleness, target number of 9. You made it. Copperhead made it. So you guys kind of steady yourselves in the boat.
Ugh.
The guide, Daryl, is going over. But Lee has a 40-12 nimbleness.
Oh, thank
And
God.
he rolled a 17. So
Yes.
basically, he's like,
Swink.
yeah, he does that thing where he, like, the boat's up almost on its side.
Mhm.
So he plants his foot in the bottom of the boat,
Yep.
loops the toe of his boot over the edge of the other one, reaches out and grabs Daryl and puts him back in the boat as it falls down.
That's some Jackie Chan stuff.
Yeah,
there.
so he's doing that where he's standing sideways
Right.
and just sees Daryl and is like, poof, grabs him by the belt.
There's like,
And he's like, woo! You know, he's
And then-
doing that. And you guys make it through. So,
Lillianne just found Lee very sexy.
yeah, probably. So did Daryl. Daryl. Like, I love you, man. So, yeah, that one was almost as bad as the last one.
Ooh.
So it was
yeah.
we
pretty
made the
boy.
rapid.
made it.
man.
The toughest rapids, and you made it.
Woo.
So anyway, after that, it's kind of like that. I think we're just going to sit here in the boat and be quiet for a while. Okay, so after that, it's weird because after those rapids, after like 20 seconds, it's like, if you didn't know those were there, this is the most peaceful the river's been. You're just like, oh my God, this is smooth sailing. The current has picked up, so you're actually making good time, and it's nice and
Yeah,
smooth.
like as soon as it's over and we're in that calm, I just pull out the bottle and take a drink and hand it to Copperhead.
Probably by the time you pass it around, the
Yeah.
bottle's almost empty.
That's fine.
Pass it over to the other boats.
Yep.
Daryl's like, oh my God. But yeah, you guys sail on for a little while. Kind of take some twists and turns, and he points out that you're in Havasu Canyon, and it's kind of very picturesque and beautiful here. And then he's like, well, up at the end of this canyon, we're going to get to Havasu Falls, but to get there, we got to go down the creek, so the boats aren't going to fit on the creek. So we're going to have to stash those here and cover them up at the end of this canyon up here. And sure enough, as you guys get down, you notice the water of Havasu Creek, when you get up to it, it's got this like really blue-green color to it. And he's like, I don't know what causes this, but this is the prettiest creek I've ever seen. So we'll stash the boats here. It is pretty slow going because you have all the equipment to carry. If you want to take,
we got like backpacks or something on.
yeah,
it.
there's a lot of backpacks so you can put a lot of this stuff in. There's climbing gear, there's lanterns.
Parachute.
Yeah,
How far is it to the actual?
he says from here to Havasupai lands and the falls probably about 3 miles. So, well, let's head on up and see if we can talk to the Havasupai. So you guys begin your trek,
Okay.
and it's basically walking in the hot afternoon daylight. So So after a couple hours walking a few miles, you guys, as you walk, you notice that you notice a lot more greenery. Like at first it's like scrub grass, and then it's almost like, oh, there's little shrubs, and oh, there's trees off in the distance. And kind of as you get closer to the Havasupai Valley, it's like grass. I mean, it's green. You're not used to that in the Grand Canyon, the way you've been traveling. It's like, oh, hey.
First bit of green we've seen in days.
Probably. First big bit of green you've seen in days. So as you get down here, it looks like this kind of a valley-like plain. Like plains. Like grass and shrubs and a couple little sapling trees and stuff like that. Nothing major. You do see what looks like crops in the distance that are being grown, different kinds. So it's like, oh, wow. But as you guys kind of keep walking...
Use the new microphone.
Yeah,
then.
new microphone.
Yeah.
You do hear that water sound again, and as you come kind of around a bend, you see these waterfalls, like big 120 feet waterfalls coming down. There's like 2 of them. They kind of come down in one and then split off of a rock down on each side. But there's like mist coming up, and it's really cool, and it's like,
The little rainbow in the air.
yeah, and it's got that green-blue hue in the little, not lagoon, but the basin where it's falling.
Baboon.
That kind of leads to the stream, and it's like, wow. And as you guys stand there, and it's kind of like, oh, you can feel the mist coming at you, and just the majesty of these falls, and it's like, wow, this is really kind of nice. Everybody make a cognition check. You kind of instantly know somebody is watching you, and you kind of look to your right, and on that side of the falls, near where the And the falls that comes down,
What about us that just made it a little bit?
you feel like somebody's watching you.
Oh, that's all okay.
Okay. So the falls come down, and there's like the basin, there's the stream you came up, and over here, it kind of does that steps, like of rock.
Yeah.
Very large steps, so it's kind of like that little mini waterfalls.
Right.
So there's that. And over by one of those, like the top tier of it, you see probably about 6 Native Americans standing over there
Oh.
and just watching you. One of them looks... Most of them look kind of like braves, but one of them looks maybe more like a chief or a shaman or a medicine man or something like that. But they're just calmly watching you.
And then one of them says, like, if these guys start dancing or singing, I'm out of here.
I say, I believe we're being watched, everyone.
But
Over
we'll
there on
definitely
the
be
right.
watched right over there up at the top of the little slippy poles.
I go ahead and sign to them.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. There's 15.
There's 15 of them.
15,000 of them.
I missed the one.
They're like,
Oh, I go ahead and hide behind.
They all split in half, so there's like actually 15 little. No, you sign over to him?
I sign. I say,
YMC music starts.
YMCA.
Okay, that's it. I'm leaving.
We do have the cowboy and the imp, so yeah.
Exactly what Simon said. YMCA music started playing.
We go, hello, we do not mean to intrude, but we come to visit you.
You see.
We'd also like to ask you about your horse's extended warranty.
Nice try, white man. No, you see the shaman kind of raise his hand and kind of beckon you to come closer.
Or wipe your
Head
butts.
He's like,
Take their heads off? Is that what that
screw
means?
you.
Wipe your bums.
Yeah.
Big heap.
Please
of
wipe
pile
your
on
feet
back of
before
black-
entering the falls. Take your shoes off. No, he beckoned you over.
Okay.
So you guys can kind of. There's
It's
a
like
path.
old, it's like baseball. They do that.
Yeah.
Stealing second base.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting to second base. I am very happy to be here.
Oh, good lord.
So you guys kind of cross a little path, and there's some stepping stones. You can kind of cross the water and get over to the other side.
path.
Yeah. And he's like, don't forget, the floor is hot lava.
It really is. Ah!
So as you guys get over on the same side of the Indians, they seem to be remaining very stoic and just watching.
I
So
thank you for greeting
that's
us.
the priest. That's the chick. That's the horny one.
Yeah.
That's a guy I can't even understand. Yeah.
Ben's here.
Hey, welcome.
Hi, Ben.
Nice seeing you.
We missed
Bonjour.
you.
Hey, Ben.
As soon as you start to sign, he says, no need. I do speak your language.
Oh, fuck. You son of a... God.
Trying all this.
Pardon me.
You owe me $5.
Yeah.
He says, I am Torak, and I have been waiting for you.
You have?
7 days ago, I had a vision that you would arrive here. Exactly as you are. The spirit spoke to me and said that you were to be trusted and helped, though I don't know why. You wish to see where the man Powell was found.
Yes.
Yes, we would
We
like
would.
Yeah, and Powell and Haskins, Powell's like, yeah, I would. Where am I? No, Haskins is like, why, yes, we would.
I say your English is very good.
Very, very good.
I have learned much of it.
Did Powell teach you?
Ben just gave Stunning toast.
No, but I did have many words with him.
Yes, he did like English muffins.
Says, what you seek lies deep beneath the earth, in a place we call the House of the Old One. In the morning, I will show you the entrance to the caves, but now is time for food and rest. Would you
Yes.
share our fire with us?
Of course.
We would be happy
I
to.
would be honored. Yes.
And he kind of turns, starts walking. The warriors kind of look at him and just kind of turn and wait for you to follow. And they're not going to surround you, but they travel with you.
Yeah.
You notice
Escort.
most of the warriors don't turn their backs on you. They're like,
Right.
after you, sir. So you guys kind of follow them
Going to
for
hell.
20 minutes in through a path into some
Caves?
no, like kind of a small wooded area, more
Trailers?
shrubs than woods.
Hotels.
And then as you kind of get through there, it opens out again, and you see what looks like a village proper. You know, with the teepees and stuff like that. And
It's a casino.
There's an Amco and
Oh,
Subway.
there is a Dollar General.
Of course.
Yep.
there
Well,
is.
of course.
Yep,
It's,
Dollar
No,
General.
a Dollar General Custer.
this place is so awesome. They even have
General
they even have
Custer.
they even have a Waffle House here.
Jeez, oh, wait.
Although you do see up near one side are like some more of those alcoves on the cliffside that are a little deeper that have been turned into kind of homes, you know, to get them out of the rain, that kind of thing.
I guess my question is, does it look like this is a permanent settlement, or they just
Yes.
they do mobile?
No, you can tell this is
So
more
they
permanent.
have,
They've been
like,
here a while.
Animals that are gated and or fenced in and
Yeah,
so okay.
yeah, they have stuff like that. It looks like they've been here for a while.
Paved roads and
It's
They've
not
got a
like-
John Deere working the pasture.
yeah, microwaves and they're
Help me!
oh look, it's John Deere.
That guy owes me money. So anyway, he kind of welcomes you over to one of the larger tents, and
We do.
you notice a lot of the squaws and stuff are bringing out food, and it is kind of early for lunch or early for dinner, but you are pretty hungry, so they bring in all kinds of food.
Being friendly and waving
Yeah,
people. and-
yeah, and they kind of, if you wave at them, they kind of hesitantly, but kind of like wave back, like interesting.
Yeah.
Like apparently Powell's men have been through here, probably did the same thing.
Yeah.
That's not how they greet each other, but they're like, I've seen white men do that.
Yeah.
I think it means I want money.
It's true.
Yeah.
How indigenous greet, other than they say, you know, aho or sio or whatever, they just nod.
Yeah.
Look at each other and nod.
Yeah. So if you wave, they wave back, kind of like, that's you. Yeah, okay. I guess that's what you do. But otherwise, they just kind of nod to you and welcome you.
Copperhead, stop waving with one finger. Knock it off.
I'm not doing that.
kidding.
I'm waving with my gun.
I'll
anyway-
actually sign to them. If someone ever comes and helps, I'll sign to them.
Yeah, you and Sophie probably do a lot of the signing. You can even do some of the signing.
And I'll try and listen in if any
Yeah.
of them are talking.
Yes, they are talking, and as you kind of listen, you're kind of picking up on some words that you. It's like the dialect is.
The Cubs aren't going to win the series this year.
You're
Little
full of
Cubs.
crap, Brave. You do notice that some of the words they use are very similar to the words that Navajo uses. It's like a different dialect. But there are words that you're like, okay, I don't know that word. But as you listen in the context, it's like, okay, that means table. You're starting to pick up some of the words. So you can listen in. The shaman kind of greets you, and he's like, you seek to follow Powell.
Well, not entirely.
I
Well,
at least want to go where he was at. Yes. See what happened and why he didn't survive the situation.
Well, you all the shaman or the chief?
shaman.
Shaman. What exactly did the Great Spirit said to you?
That strangers would be arriving, following in the footsteps of that man, to find out what he found, and that you are to be trusted and helped. I don't know what you'll find down there, or what Powell saw down there, but if the spirits want me to aid you, I plan to do so.
It makes me wonder if it ain't something that needs to be found also.
Bigger
So
puppy.
you have been to the
Hunting ground.
hunting grounds.
Yes.
Maybe that's why the spirits have contacted me about you and your group. Many of you are familiar with the hunting grounds.
Yeah.
Indeed.
To a degree.
Could be in your favor. Let us eat. Talk of other things.
All right, let's talk.
Tonight, under the moon and the stars, it seems more appropriate to talk of this stuff then.
Very well.
You know, around the campfire. Ooh.
And the peace pipe and yeah.
Besides, I'm going to jump out and get you. So I need to tell the story, then excuse myself, and then come up behind one of you and go boogie boogie boogie. He does tell you that Howell did come through here a few years ago, and that he came through with many men, and
So he was he was perfectly healthy when he was here. Here.
yes. And he says, "I will explain more tonight."
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm resting.
So what do they hunt, or do they just kind of grow domestically? I can ask them that kind
Yeah,
of
mostly hunting. They are mostly gathering, growing crops and gathering and stuff like that. They do hunt, but they have scouting parties that go out and hunt. But sometimes it's
It's
tough.
mostly around this valley because of the
Yeah.
That and the oldies down the road.
Yeah, they are.
I didn't want to point.
We go to the Dollar General Custer.
There's a McDonald's just got up. So
Yeah. No, they do hunt for meat.
Yeah, you want a Laughing Man burger? It's all
Yeah.
little nightmen. We only work to open at night.
Yeah.
the Waffle House.
They hunt. There are the sheep and sometimes mountain lions, sometimes deer and stuff like that. But they basically rely on crops because that's a sure thing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but they are not they're not defenseless by any means.
Right.
They have to fend themselves off against creatures of the canyon. They also have to worry about the laughing men. They don't really have too many Native American enemies here. I mean, every once in a while they'll kind of get in a tiff with somebody. They usually try and stay out of it because there's like the Paiutes and the Navajo and other tribes around here, and sometimes the Apache come through. They just kind of stay to themselves. They don't really get involved, but sometimes they'll have a tiff. They'll be kind of like, oh, we got to choose a side, or just stay away from us. Keep it over there. So they can defend themselves, but they're not warlike or anything like that. They'd prefer not to be. The afternoon, the shaman, Torak, kind of excuses himself, and he's going to go rest and kind of see if
I go rest with Torak.
have another vision.
He's go.
He's like, Ice Spoon, you're going to have to be.
I'm fine with this.
I'm fine with this.
So he goes and kind of
This is me giving you permission.
Yes.
tries to have another vision about upcoming things. Meanwhile, the Indians kind of basically, we're doing this. Do you want to go? A couple of them speak very minimal English, very broken, Crops. Come.
Yeah.
Crops.
Yep.
And some of them are, just doing things, baskets and things like that. And it's kind of like, if you're interested,
Well,
this is a chance for you to kind of hang around the Indians and get to know what they are. And what
I'm
they
actually not kind of serious. I would go hang out with the shaman and just to see if I can kind of learn a little bit about if they allow me to.
Doing something else.
Yeah, he kind of like excuses himself, like, I
Leave us alone. Let us do this.
meditate. So, you notice a couple Braves are very interested in Copperhead's guns. They keep pointing to him, and he's like, gun? And they're like, so they ask him to show his guns, and they take him out so he can show them to shoot. He's like, do you want to learn? You? I'm like, no. And they hold up their spears or their bows and arrows. You shoot. And they're smiling. You shoot. And one of them will go out and put like a skull, like a cattle skull out there.
Or bow.
Yeah.
Please
on
not
a,
me.
on a post. And he'll like, okay, shoot it. And then you notice for a while they get things that are smaller and smaller until finally they find like little mouse skull. They put it way out there, and he's like, that? And they kind of laugh. Yeah, that. He's like, pow, and blows it off this thing, and they're like, oh, they're clapping. They're like, hey. And he's like, okay, and he twirls it in his holster, like, ooh, do again. So they're like fascinated by gunfighters. They don't want to be one, but it's like this is the first time they'll get the chance to see one and probably not be facing him.
Yeah. Right.
And he's pretty happy showing off what he can do and stuff like that. And he's like, all right. You can spend the day whiling away the hours, learning new skills if you want. So, eventually sunset comes, and the sky's getting dark. It's that dark, dusky pink color. So the sun's getting ready to go down. The shaman emerges from his teepee, and you notice he's kind of like stretching, waking up. He kind of comes out and looks around, sees all you, and looks like he asked for a campfire to be built. So a lot of the Braves and people of the tribe are making a big bonfire for tonight. So he kind of calls, you can tell he's calling for a celebration, but not like a party, more like we need to honor these guys on their journey on behalf of the spirits. So it's a little bit more of a slow-paced, somber kind of dancing and humming and singing, but it gives you guys a lot of time to sit with him while the people do their thing. He's over there with you guys. And he's like, I should probably tell you the story of Powell and his expedition.
Yes.
Yes, please. Play tomorrow night.
So he talks to you guys. He's like, tomorrow morning I will take you to the last place we showed Powell where to go. I think we didn't. We showed him, and he went. I don't think it was a good idea, but he did. I don't know how you expect to trace his steps.
Well, we want to try to trace him, but not have the same fate, if possible. Like I said, we're going mostly to understand what happened to him in the first place.
Yeah, why did he want to go to this place? What is this place?
Well, I don't think he wanted to go necessarily. He was just curious, but the others of his party wanted to. And I feel it was my shame that they did.
Good night, Jesse.
I will tell you a story
And thanks for coming.
about what lies down there, but it takes some explaining.
We got all night.
Hundreds of years ago,
My mother came.
there was called the Great Spirit War. Hundreds of years ago, these beings, evil spirits in the hunting grounds, walked the earth, or at least had minions walk the earth for them. They made fears come true. They created havoc and danger across the world. They were, I believe, some white men refer to them now as reckoners. There is no name for
We've
it.
heard of these, haven't we, Reckoners?
Yeah, there is no name.
Came close to one before.
There,
Could you get Bobby?
they have no true name, but I suppose that fits.
Thank you.
Anyway, the Great Spirit War was raged between the nature spirits, the good spirits that we follow and worship, the Great Spirit himself, and these Manitown, these evil spirits. It waged for many, many, many years. In fact, it was almost a war that we lost. But there were 12 brave shaman who took it upon themselves to end that spirit war. 12 shamans of various tribes had an idea. They asked for visions from the great spirits, or the spirits, and even the Great Spirit, and were told that if they crossed the hunting grounds and made a pact, they could stop these evil things from coming into our world. They did, but there was a great price to pay, a great sacrifice that they must make. These 12 spirits needed to leave a part of themselves here,
12 shaman.
or the 12 shaman needed to leave part of their soul here as an anchor to this world, but they themselves had to go to the hunting grounds forever to keep these things in check. They had to carve out their own living hearts. So with their assistance, other shamans that were aiding them, they performed a ritual which did just that. They had the hearts cut from their bodies, still beating, and went into the hunting grounds to sacrifice themselves or their time on this plane to keep these beings in check. The shamans who took the hearts agreed to hide them, pass them down from shaman to shaman to keep them safe, so that no one else would intervene. My ancestor was one of these shamans, one of the Havasupai shaman who sacrificed his heart, and his assistant shaman, I guess you could call him, was the one who cut out the heart. Put it in a pottery box and agreed to hide it. It was done, and the location of that and its whereabouts was passed down from shaman to shaman to shaman. Jordrava was the shaman's name who sacrificed himself for the Havasupai nation.
Georgiava.
Jordrava.
Drava.
Jordrava. And that secret has been passed down from our shamans for generations. I know where it is. These men, Powell and his men, came through and wanted to know everything there was to know and our tales and about our way of life. And we got very friendly together. We were very much close allies and and had a lot of fun times the week they were here learning everything they could about us. My shame is that I have a weakness for the white man's whiskey. They had plenty of whiskey, and I accidentally referred to this object as the Havasupai treasure, because to us it is a treasure, something to be guarded, something to be kept, and very important to us. A man by the name of Lawrence Croft ended up giving me a lot of whiskey that night. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I told him where to get to the cave to go in and find the treasure. I don't remember telling him what it was.
You said enough treasure.
Treasure was the word I should not have used. And I
This
gave...
Lawrence fella have a daughter named Laura?
Is she about?
Oh.
Is she anywhere near here?
Oh, yes, Laura of the Great Hills Croft.
Yes. Mountains, I would say, but yes.
He says,
It's an
Sure
adventure.
sounds like a man who would raid tombs during the...
I showed him a talisman that I had
Wombs?
carried
Did
for
you say
many
wombs?
years that was passed
Tombs.
down. The
Not
talisman,
wombs.
No.
the talisman would guide you to this treasure. It would take you through the caves and show you the right path. It is drawn to the treasure within. And then I don't remember much. The next morning, I awoke with a very bad headache, as they call it, and I found out the expedition left unexpectedly early that morning. And I knew what had happened. My necklace was gone. And I believe that this Croft had coerced or convinced the men with him, who were also very interested in this treasure, to go looking for it. Powell must have went with them, but I don't think he was the type to want to go. But he probably had no choice.
I kind of elbow Haskins. And
He kind of, we found a necklace among Powell's possession when he was found, and he pulls it out, and you see Torak's like, that's it.
Give me that back.
He's like, that is the necklace. And Haskins is like, oh, well, I'm sorry. He's like, no, keep it. I no longer have a need of it, though you will, or you may, if you plan to follow Powell's footsteps. That will get you to the treasure. There is a shaman, a Susquehanna shaman. He was known as Raven.
We have heard of him.
Some have, most have.
Because Felix filled us in on that, right?
Yeah. As you know, then, Raven's entire tribe was taken from him by the white man. He gathered others of his mind in his path. Many Native Americans of various tribes were the last of their kind thanks to the white man. They called themselves the Last Sons. He wanted revenge on the white man, so he came up with a plan. He knew of the War of the Spirits and of the 12 Shaman.
Who did?
Raven. Raven himself went to the hunting grounds with some of his followers. They hunted and killed every shaman in those hunting grounds, all 12.
Oh, no.
And released these reckoners and their Manitou back onto the world. A mere 16 years ago. And ever since, the reckoners have been fighting to wage their war again.
So that's how it happened.
Without those shaman, and without 12 more shaman to possibly contain them again, I'm afraid the reckoners are loose, and so are their minions, the Manitou, who bring fear and chaos into this world to feed their masters. They feed on it. And I fear that the one shaman of our tribe who was brave enough to do that has been killed. But not only by Raven, but perhaps also by my deeds. Though he may have been destroyed in the hunting grounds, I do not know if his heart still beats, or if it lays silent in its resting place.
If it is still beating, what does that mean?
Could mean that that shaman could return from the hunting grounds, reclaim his heart, and become whole once again, whether here or in the hunting grounds. I don't know about the other shamans. It was a pact made to not share where they are or who they were. Only we know of our shaman, the Havasupai, Jordrava.
So this necklace would lead us to your treasure, the heart.
Yes.
And if it's still there, do you want us to bring it back to you?
I think if it is there, yes, bring it back.
And if it's not there, I would assume that Croft himself probably took off with it.
If he escaped. The last time we were in the caves, I was a young man. The shaman before me was very old, very knowledgeable. He took me down there, and it was a perilous journey. He knew how to avoid certain things because of the necklace. I had lost the necklace, so I have not been down there. I don't know what horrors await. But I know these little night men, as the Navajo call them, are in the caves somewhere. I know there were other things. The Anasazi tribe, which were ancient Indians, used that cave as a place of worship as well. I know there were traps that they laid that still exist. And who knows what manner of creatures from this canyon and from these reckoners have taken up residence down there.
Well, they wanted that necklace. I think the good shaman should know about them.
It's also possible that they might be confused on what exactly that heart and the jaw means.
They might just be looking
Oh,
for
you're
it.
referring to the Lost Angels.
Yes.
They wanted the necklace. Very dangerous.
The white men in black.
Yes. They say they are priests, but they are far from it. They are the
I think
others.
there's one black man in black that hangs with them too. Name's Smith.
Yeah.
He's too cool for that.
Okay.
One of my braves did say he saw some men in black around the falls the night before last.
Oh,
They got here before us?
well, Brother Kane left before we did.
Yeah. They are agents of the Reckoners, of the very ones.
There's a demon with him.
That's what I was afraid of. That was also revealed to me in a vision somewhat that you may have to face these men.
We've already faced them once.
Well, you may face them in the house of the old one.
I'll
Be
face
very
them.
careful if they are waiting for you. But my vision said that you may be triumphant. I guess that's on you.
Strange. Either they want to use it or they want to make sure that he remains dead.
Could be some sort of offering for Raven himself. Maybe Raven has a plan for it.
Well, I don't believe they follow Raven. They follow Reckoners.
Well,
They follow Grimm, who works.
they
Works
follow
for
the Reckoners.
Yes, you're
Raven
right.
is the one who freed the Reckoners.
Yes. You are both correct. I don't know. It's strange.
Well, don't forget, evil corrupts evil. Perhaps the Reverend, what's his name, is doing something against the Reckoners or some sort.
That's true.
Maybe he's
Could
making
be
a
trying
plan.
to control the Reckoners.
While they're talking, I'm going to start concentrating and kind of praying to God
Okay.
for about 10 minutes.
Okay. Are you doing something in particular?
I'm going to cast Guide.
Oh, okay. Good.
Because now I actually have, I don't need the name of a place, I actually have
His heart.
his heart.
His
It's
name.
a specific item.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Now, I
I've
have
just been waiting for that one, right?
Yeah.
I have a question. In the falls, is that where the entrance lie? So they knew.
Well, these lost angels must have known.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe they have something to guide them as well.
Yeah.
But Powell's men, Croft, I showed them. And I regret it. But in the morning, I will show you. Because I know spirits have told me that you will put things as right as possible.
Perhaps
I
we
should
could
help
be
you.
a step forward for your redemption.
Well,
Or at least we can get things on the right track anyway.
that's all I can ask, and that's all I can hope for.
We're
and
gonna
I do
try.
thank you. And now I understand why the spirits told me to help and trust you, I think.
Well, at least now we got a clear
You have
understanding of
been
why
very
we're here on this.
forthcoming and very kind to our situation. My situation in particular.
Well, it's not only science, the whole world, son. All of us.
It is, but
It's-
you are few white men speak like that to our people.
Well, times change, I hope. Probably not.
I hope
but,
so too.
Yeah, well, still.
As I say, I thought Croft was a trusted friend, and he took advantage.
Greed can corrupt any man's heart.
Yes, indeed.
But I myself have no corruption sometime, but some people didn't give up on me, and I'll look at over it like, Copperhead, and it says, and I won't give up on them either.
I'm like, well, I wish you a safe journey, and I will send as many hopes and blessings as I can with you.
I guess we'll get a good night's sleep tonight. Plenty of rest so that we can.
Kill us some more bad things in the morning.
Yes.
Well, I was wondering if you might be able to, in the morning we go and get our valet. We left something at the boats, our luggage.
Mm-hmm.
Not to go bring it and bring it back.
I can send Braves to help you carry if you need.
Thank you for your hospitality.
And that as well.
Yeah, well, you have that pipe thing?
Would you just like the rice thing there, Bo?
Yeah, let's have some of that, and then some of that, that little, I don't know, look like a little thing of poop. Yeah, eat it. A peyote?
Oh, actual poop. Yes, we can get that for you.
Poopody?
He reaches in. Thank you.
Eat it, boy, eat it.
Eat it. These people are crazy.
I had 21.
Oh, nice. Okay. Does that give you anything for raises or anything?
I don't think so. Oh, well, look at that one.
Did he say this was underwater or just behind the waterfall?
Behind the
Cave
waterfall.
system.
No, there's no raises or anything like that. It is only like 60 yards for my faith, though.
Okay.
So, but can I sense anything?
Not from here.
Okay.
Not really.
What if I actually concentrate?
Well, actually, 60 yards per faith level.
Yeah. No, it's 10 per faith. So it's
Okay,
60.
so 60 yards. You kind of think about it, and yeah, your first instinct, the waterfall. Go to the waterfall.
Okay.
So it's pointing you that direction.
But I can sense that that it exists somewhere.
Yes.
Okay.
You can sense it's here. All right. So you guys bed down for the night. The next morning comes, and
Cockadoodle what?
Torak gathers you together, and
I probably got both early and then headed back to the boats, maybe
Yeah.
with a few braves.
yeah, a couple of the guides. Well, all the guides will go with you to the boats, and then a couple of braves can go. Anybody else wants to go to the boats?
Well,
We're
they're
sleeping
over
in.
They're over by the waterfalls anyway, right?
A little bit
They're
farther past the
couple
waterfalls,
miles
but a couple miles away. So you guys can go get the stuff and bring it back.
Yeah,
So
that was the plan.
he says, we can take you to the waterfalls and show you where the cave is. And I will take 2 of my braves with me. The rest will stay behind. We will not be going in with you. You will go on your own.
Now,
And the guides are like, that's right.
We weren't expecting you to.
Good. We got to stay here and make sure the boats. If you're not back in like a month, we'll leave. So,
I probably leave a little sooner than
yeah,
that.
yeah.
well, should I wear or one of us wear the exoskeleton in? You need to move things.
This was where I thought the exoskeleton would come in handy. Is like
Yeah.
going into.
I don't know
where
why you're
this
asking
is.
me. Ask those guys.
Yeah, Bo, go ahead and get it on.
You want me to run or somebody
Let's
else?
get it
here?
on. Let's see if there's any.
Can you still
What
do
about Dr.
your-
Haskins? Is the doctor going to stay here or is he going to come with us?
He's like, you couldn't make me stay here for nothing. The reason I'm here
He's not.
is to go there. That's the whole reason I had the
Well,
expedition.
I've got the steam engineering
Yeah.
too, so I suppose.
If you want to wear it, you're more than
Somebody
welcome.
is- Why?
You got
I'm assuming we're
training.
gonna wear it to use it, so
Yes. I just didn't know who was going
that's
to use it.
great. So
Yeah, I made sure
Yes, I'd be
y'all
the-
read the
Yeah, I did.
instructions.
Well, I didn't read it. No.
Yeah,
I
you were
read
like,
it.
"That's nice." You read. I mean,
Is
you
this
read.
toilet paper? Yeah.
It'll really wipe you.
So Olaf's in the driver's seat.
Okay, so this is a good time to get to where we stop because this is the next stopping point of the story.
Okay.
Oh,
okay, it's a
Nice.
little early
Early.
this morning, but
No, we'll keep going, but this is where I hand out bounty.
Oh.
And you have to have
Oh.
driving mechanical suit of aptitude at least 1 to use it. So you're going to spend a point to learn how to drive the suit since you've been reading the book. So this is a good point to say, before we go any further, why don't you buy that skill? Okay. Requires a drive a mechanical skeleton skill. So we are going to go ahead and do the chips. So everybody, you survive the encounter with the laughing men.
Yep.
So everybody gets a red chip for that. Okay, for the Navajo Indians, which you met, I'm going to give everybody.
we made you role play out.
Yeah, I'm giving everybody a red chip for that because that was some awesome role playing. That was really good role playing with those guys. That was totally on the fly.
Good
So
job.
everybody give yourself a red chip for that.
Okay.
Okay, I think the next thing was the canyon crawlers.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a white chip for that because you just dealt with them pretty easily. I'm going to give everybody a white chip for actually making it through the rapids. Okay, good job. Red chip for everybody who examined the murdered miner's body, which was everybody.
I was gonna say that was all.
So everybody gets a red chip for that.
Because we almost lost our lunch.
Yep.
Everybody had to follow me to go see a dead body, huh?
Creepy.
The poke with a stick.
Before.
And keep a hold of the talisman and run off the Lost Angels or defeat the Lost Angels who attacked you. A blue chip for everybody.
Ooh.
That was a hell of a fight.
It was.
All right. Who else has hindrances?
I do. I think I played out my intolerance to weak women at the brothel.
At Cliffside,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'll give you a white chip for
Along
that.
with self-righteous, cautious, and stubborn.
Yeah, I'll give you a white chip for that.
Okay.
I don't really think I had much of a
Your night terrors.
He worked
were
on his
dealing with-
night terrors a lot.
minute.
He's going through
As
his.
far as the gentleman and the lady oath, I don't really think I
You didn't
had
really
much-
have that happen.
Didn't really
to
have
me.
much of
Yeah.
an chance to interact on that. There was my curious.
Which you went to the.
I'll give you a white chip for that.
Okay, all right, and of course my night terrors.
I'm gonna give you a red chip for that because you've been working on it, but it did come in. You did fail it a couple times when Dr. Bruce didn't help you. Okay, so you can only have 10 chips. So now you can decide what you want to sacrifice. Trade in for bounty. You get yourself down to 10.
Does that include the legend chip?
No.
Or arcane
No.
chips?
If you want to trade in a legend chip, it's worth 5 bounty points.
but
No,
no,
it,
he's asking-
it doesn't
Out
count
of
against your
10.
10.
No, those go above and
That's-
beyond.
that's above and beyond.
above
Okay.
and beyond. And does everybody remember what an arcane chip does?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you spend an arcane chip, it's a fickle thing. So if you are a huckster and you have an arcane chip and you spend it, you roll for your cards, you roll a d4 and add that to your roll to see if you get more cards. So if you have an arcane background, even a priest, you can spend your arcane chip, you roll a d4, and that's how many extra points you get. Or if you want to disrupt someone who's using arcane, like if he casts a hex
Thanks,
and you're
Jimmy.
like, don't do that, you can spend an arcane chip and roll a d4, and it will you roll if you spend an arcane chip, they have to roll on their backlash table, and the hex fails. So that's how that works. And if you trade it in for bounty, you roll a d4, and that's what it's worth. So it's a very arbitrary thing. But
Okay.
so if one of these black cultists tries to do something to you, you can spend your arcane chip and block it.
Hey, just real quick, JB, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we're 200. Yay!
So for those of you at home, we've just passed out chips for rewards for what they've done, for some of their hindrances, for role playing.
And I gained a hindrance.
Yep.
Finally.
Now now they're spending those to up their stats and skills and die types and whatever else they want,
Yes.
while still keeping some chips handy for surviving the rest of this game.
Well, folks, I think that's it for us tonight. Make sure to check us out on every Tuesday night. And Twitch, folks, hang out. We are going to raid somebody. I got them logged and ready to go, so hang loose. You can find all of our things to do with the Raconteur Society on our social media. Where can you find our social medias? On our link tree. Where can you find our link tree? On all of our social medias.